I got a look here at what I call Snail Rock out here on the primitive trail if you went right instead of going left. Pretty unique angle, very cool rock formation. The head's pretty unique as well, definitely check that out. And here we'll see a different angle of the submarine. You can see the top tower of the sub right there. And the submarine's body going all the way down. It's even got desert varnish to look just like barnacles on a real sub. Very cool little area. And you just can't beat the view if you turn around and look towards the mountains. Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, I really like the mountains. They really add a unique feel here in Moab that you just wouldn't have if they weren't here. They're especially amazing when they have snow on them like they do right now. Once again, the snow is melting pretty quickly, guys. Most years you'd see it for a lot longer. And then of course this view is just about as close as you're going to get, at least within Arches National Park, of anything that looks like Needles' version of Canyonlands. Now there's two different Canyonlands. There's Island in the Sky, and that's the one that's fairly close to Moab, about 45 minutes away. And then there's Needles, which is about an hour and a half south of town, down 191. I would highly, highly recommend visiting both Island in the Sky and Needles if you're going to come all the way out to Moab. It's just too amazing not to see all these places. The views are just absolutely spectacular. And please don't listen to anyone who tells you that Needles and Arches are similar. This is as similar as it gets. And we will be visiting Needles in another video, guys. So make sure you check that out. And you're going to see very drastic differences, at least in my opinion. So once again, definitely come check out this view. But don't discount what Needles has to offer. So if you guys look out, you see this view. See that rock formation right there? Fairly unique. Take a look at the main trail. See a little pull off. Make sure you guys come walk out here. Walk down this little path. And you guys will get to see what I call Jagged Rock Cave. A pretty small cave in fairness, but nice shady place to stop on a really hot day here in Arches. Sometimes our temperatures do climb as high as 108 degrees. And this place could be really amazing. It's a really cool little place to check out. Technically, this is actually an arch. That's more than 3 feet. So if you want to call it Jagged Rock Arch or Jagged Rock Cave, maybe both. Either way, really cool place to come hang out, especially if it's super hot that day. And it opens up to a very pretty view as well. Can't recommend this place enough, guys. You even have a little bit of a slot canyon here. I don't think you're hiking in that one unless you're a real skilled rock climber, though. but definitely something worth checking out. Quite a bit of a climb. And just so you guys know what biocrust is, this is a great example of it right here. This is called biocrust. And this guy takes at least 10 years to form, all the way up to 80, even longer for some of the really, really big guys. Really want to make sure you don't step here. If you guys are going to come hike out into these primitive trails out here, you guys are going to want to make sure that you stay out on the slick rock like you see me doing here. Try to avoid these potholes, especially ones like this that actually have biocrust in them. You see a few footprints from people who probably didn't know better. I mean, you really don't want to do that, guys. You don't want to kill all the beautiful mystery creatures that live there. Be sure to check out my video called The Wild Side of Arches if you would like to see what a mystery creature that lives in a pothole looks like. But it is a really beautiful view to climb out here. You do get very insane amounts of traction from all the slick rock out here. Feels like you're walking on sandpaper, quite honestly. If you guys ever run your fingers on it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And this fin just offers a crazy good view of the valley below. Watch your step anytime you're walking out on these fins. Once again, the views are truly out of this world. Honestly, it feels like you're walking on another planet is how I would describe it for you guys. And this guy's super cool. We was showing him earlier, but I think this is my favorite angle to see him. You might hear a bit of an echo. I'm not sure it'll show up on camera, but when you guys come out here, it echoes pretty good. So the other thing to note, if you guys are going to hike out somewhere like this, make sure you know what you're walking on. So if you're hiking over here, that might look like a great place to walk on. When I look from this angle, I can tell that rock formation might give way under your weight. As stated before, guys, this area does fill up with water. Really not that much right now. This can be quite deep. Like deep enough that you gotta walk through it. I'm also experiencing quite a bit of a windstorm, as I'm sure you guys have noticed at this point. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to one of those flooded parts of the trail. Even though we have not received that much water, this is a very challenging cross, and if you get it wrong, you will get wet. Apologies for not filming the crossing, but I needed all the balance I could get to make sure I did not end up in the drink. Pretty nasty looking water. Look at all the scum on the top of it here. So if you guys notice this red berry here, this is actually hung on all the way from last winter. So when you guys come out to places like this, make sure you pay close attention or you'll miss cool little things like this. Now you can see all the flower buds. It's not a ripe one from this year. That's hung on all winter long. So the other cool thing you guys can find in slot canyons is the trees are always behind their counterparts that are not in a slot canyon. So you notice all these closed buds on this oak tree here. Meanwhile, in the rest of the park, outside of a slot canyon, they already have their leaves open. So here's an example of an oak, only about 100 feet away. Leaves fully open. So this is a section where the trail will get fairly difficult. However, if you look from this angle, the trail is much more easy to see here. So you're going to want to go over here, up and around. We'll show you the sign down here that points to it. Sign right here. As you can see, there's the path. Right on up there. And if we turn around real quick, your arrow to point where you should go. The first step is probably one of the harder ones here. Particularly if you're trying to film it while doing so. Pretty off camber, fairly narrow. Definitely got to trust your shoes. Make sure you have really good shoes if you're going to come here, guys. Do not bring flip-flops to this trail. It's a terrible idea. And you get treated to a pretty good view here. So, when you guys make it all the way up on top here, make sure you stop for a second and look out, because there's an arch directly across from you right here. A tree there, an arch right behind it. Some pretty serious winds. Apologies if the audio sucks. We got a bit of water up the trail as well. So we got another log scramble coming up. But we'll be walking up this guy right on top of that ridge there. And when you make it to the sign, make sure you turn around and look, guys. This is very cool to see as well. Make sure you stop and take a quick look at these guys as well. I call this bookshelf rock or pantry rock. Perfect little place to store all your meats, foods, and reading supplies. All made naturally by the wind and the rain. And you got another little heart-shaped thing here, half heart anyway. It's a very cool area altogether. Not the easiest hike to get to it, I won't lie to you guys. But definitely worth coming to check out if you can make it. Alright guys, so when you make it to this point, a lot of people think you can't make it up this. And they'd be right if they tried to climb this hill here. Proper thing to do is to come around the side here where this dead tree is, follow it over to this. You'll see quite a few hand marks on the bark of this tree or the wood of this tree. Follow all the way around till you make it to here. Now, if you're skilled enough, my recommendation is to just jump across. If you can't do that, you can try to use the wood down here. I feel a lot more comfortable jumping it, but that's up to you guys. In any case, this will take you right on up. And if you guys remember it from before, take you right to the trail that leads to Private Arch. So if you guys have made it to here before, you'll know exactly where you are. It's really not that hard. I've seen multiple people turn around on the trail today and think you can't make it up this. You absolutely can. Again, pay close attention. Look for this tree. Look for this branch here. Walk up this thin. Right on around, right on up. Really is not that hard. And you're treated to a gorgeous view out here as well. Pretty little mushroom top rock. Check out this formation, guys. If you do make it back here, hopefully it doesn't need to be said, but don't step on this guy. He's so cool. Look at how fragile. That sheet right there looks about as thin as a piece of cardboard. Maybe even a little thinner. Really, really cool. So eventually, you guys are going to make it to here, where Double O Arch is. You're going to see the sign right here for Dark Angel. And if you come all the way around, See the primitive trail to the trailhead goes this way, right back on up, right up that fin where you see that sign sticking up right there. We'll take you right on out of here back to the Devils Garden parking lot. Make sure you stop and enjoy the view for at least a second, guys. Check out the clouds out on Dark Angel. Now, the cool thing you can see in the desert is you can see visible precipitation, which is what that is right there. Might not be hitting the ground, but it's falling through the sky at the very least. Very cool phenomenon that you see here in the desert sometimes. You can also see deer in the Devil's Garden parking lot close to sunset. As always, please like the video, subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos, and share this video with a friend. And join me once again next Saturday night here on Magical Moab.